Ladies and gentlemen, it's update day. And I have to say, a lot has happened since we have last spoke. Now, I know I always say that. What has happened? Okay, well, it's actually consolidation week. So we have had no exams whatsoever since we last spoke. So what could have happened? Let's be honest. Well, I'll tell you what could have happened. I had a meeting. I've had, two meetings. Three meetings since we last spoke. Two of them was for a job in the US. Now you might be like, "Wow, you already got a job from the US." I think I mentioned that at least. Currently, we have two jobs that we're looking at. Okay, we've got interviews for, and like I said, if you can get on an interview for a job, and you're looking overseas, from depending on the job. Okay, it does depend on the job. But if you get on the interview, seal the deal, you basically have the job. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So I get on here. It's for another summer camp as well. It's for us all boys camp. I'm not going to say the name because I'd kind of like to keep it a bit private. But not for no other reason, just the fact that I've I don't know, breach of fiduciary duties and all that. Your fiduciary duties. Anyways, but yeah, it's for an all boys summer camp. And why am I mentioning this? Because it is actually so much better than the other job. Two reasons. Number one, and this is the biggest one actually, they actually look. I told them about my time constraints, the fact that I might not be able to stay for their full season, and they said, because I think the thing is they were a bit desperate. I think they were looking for workers because a whole bunch of their workers dropped out, and they are willing to forego me having to stay for the whole season in order to get more workers. So they'll let me stay there the entire time. The other thing is, the other job, for me also, I want to be quite transparent with earnings and stuff on my journey and all that. My last, the other job, I still have yet to receive the contract, so I'll confirm this next update. But my last job, the other job, were willing to pay me about 2.5K dollars. That was all in for the whole season. So I would have been left with about $1,000. If this place pays me for the full season, they would pay me twice as much, which is insane. Obviously, that's subject to tax, and I don't think I would earn that much because I'm not staying there the full time. Dude, but that's fucking huge. That's fucking massive. What? Anyways, so right now I should be done with the screening process. I think I still they need to go through my references. They need to send me an email, just for, checking that I'm not a criminal. And then they're going to send over the employment contract. I know they're currently on the reference list because my dad was one of the references. They wanted someone specific, personal, and I put his name, and he just got an email now. So I'm assuming they're doing that, and then they're going to go through, check my background and stuff, and then they're going to move on to the contract. I will say, I did kind of tell these places that I'm applying for a leave of absence at my university. That application has not been put in yet. Which I know is bad, but the thing is I will say I kind of don't want to be spending time away from university. Speaking of which, I looked at the flights for there and back, and if I were to leave 2 days after we finish exams, and I was to come back the day before we start semester, I realized I could get back the next day, so I would be a day late. Okay. For semester. That's not that bad. Let's be honest, who cares? What are you going to miss in a day? However, if I leave the next day, I can save $300. My mom told me this, and so I was like, oh, okay. How many hours is the flight? She says 60, and I'm like, Mom, stop pulling my leg. I know that you can't get from here in South Africa to Boston in 16 hours. She's like, no, 60. Excuse me, mother. I asked for the hours. not the days. What kind of fucking place lets you travel for 60 hours? Are you befucked? Excuse me? That's just one way. Sorry, it's actually on the way back, not the way there, but... And so that means I would leave on the 27th of July and get home on the 30th. There goes the week. Excuse me? The only benefit, really, is the fact that I would be able... There's like a 24-hour layover in Chicago. What are you doing for 24 hours? Where are those planes? Like, makes no sense. And then, no, I'm not done. And then you go to Newark, and they're like, oh, you just spent 24 hours in Chicago. Let's make him stay 24 hours in Newark. But are you dumb? Just fly me home, please. I need to go home and work. Like, anyways. Turns out that it's the only reason, I will say, as funny as it would have been to stay in Chicago, because my mom was like, no, you're not doing that flight. You're going to pay the extra $300. I'm like, no, I actually want to go to Chicago. Like, Chicago is like a place on my bucket list. I want to go there. So as funny as I thought that would be, and, as exciting as it would be, I did realize that, like, after doing a bit of investigative, journalism, I realized the only reason that it made me go that time is because the cheapest flight was 3 days later. So I could pay an extra $80 and I could reduce that down to 27 hours, I think, which is much better. I would much rather do that. Still not great, but because I still missed the entire week, and that's just fucking time gone, which is really, really, really annoying. But oh well, what can you do? So that's currently where we're at with the trip. So I will say, actually, that's another thing I wanted to mention on here. I will say, this trip is, I would like to make money on this trip, obviously. Like, I'm not going to lie and, say that I'm doing this for the good, I am, but I was going to say, actually, the main reason I am doing this trip is because Nicholas needs an adventure. That's the actual reason we're doing this trip. It's been a year and a half since I've gone traveling and done one of these things. And the thing is the first time was amazing because I actually found the job. But the thing is that my mom was the one that organized the plane ticket and getting there. Then the second time, I organized the plane ticket and getting there, and I had the job from the last time I was there, so I had something to fall back on. But I was still quite proud of myself because I scraped that trip. I scraped shit together. And then the third time, it was like, okay, we kind of know what to expect. Let's go at it. And it was still hard. It was still fucking challenging. But the thing is, we were able to make so much money then. We're able to make twice as much as both of the other trips combined. So we made good money. This trip is kind of like, I need to like prove to myself that I can do this again. Because it feels like I've been a bit out of it. So that's kind of why we're doing this. So yeah, and I will say, I'm just letting, and this is for anyone who's wanting to do something like this and is struggling and is having a hard time actually pulling the pieces together. Just for reference, in order to find a job, I ended up going on how much was it? I think it was about 104 different restaurants on Long Beach Island is where I first looked. I looked at all of them, top to bottom, Excel spreadsheeted, all that shit. After that, realized no one there was looking. I applied to about 40, I think. No, about 20. It wasn't 40. It was between 20 and 30, I think. Tried getting in contact with them. Didn't have much success. I heard back from 2, and they were basically saying, "Hey, we're not hiring." Then I looked at specific I looked at internships as well. I looked at around at about 10, 20. I think I applied to maybe 2. Didn't hear back. Never did. But I think I just realized that it just wasn't going to work for what I needed. So then I went to the backup, which was seasonal summer camps. And even then, I still applied to between 20 and 30. It wasn't 30, but it was, somewhere between that area. And the reason I'm mentioning this is not to, like kind of show off, but it's more so to just like say, sometimes it's rough. And I heard this saying from this guy named Alex, where he says, when you want something, okay, if you're like, the best advice he could give was, figure out what you want, ignore the opinions of others, and here's the important thing, do so much volume that it would seem unreasonable to succeed. And I think that's just one thing that, when you guys are feeling in the trenches, just, if you are like, and you're like, oh, fuck, is all of this even worth it? Just keep going, bro. Like, that's the important thing, keep pushing through, keep your head down, keep working, and focus on the work. It's something I struggle with, is focus. You're too worried about the I'm a victim of this. I'm too worried about the outcome that I forget to focus on the work. And when you forget to focus on the work, things just don't roll. The stone does not roll, from what I found. So, something to remember. Anyways, that's kind of where we're at right now. I think in other news. Oh, fucking shit! Other news. The other meeting I had was actually was at the biggest supplier on campus. At my campus like the campus for my university. Bro, it was promising. Like, I think these guys were excited about the product. They were like, yes, we love the product. We love what you're proposing. We want to get this rolling. Fuck, what the fuck was that? Sorry, I'm also sick as well. This week in consolidation week, I just got sick and have decided to die. I don't know why. Anyways. And they're super excited about the product, and they're actually wanting to go forward with this. So that's really great. There's only two problems I'm slightly worried about. Number one, they did mention that they're currently undergoing a change in supply chain management, and I would be part of their supply chain. So, I think they're going through that this holiday. So the nice thing is, what I'm hoping is that I can go to the US, make money, do that, come back, and then sort out the ice cream. The nice thing is also they take off, like the company takes off during university holidays. Fucking great for me. Because, I want to take off. Obviously, that's not the goal. The goal here is to make a fucking sustainable operation. But anyways, the other thing that I'm slightly worried about is they asked me if I'm VAT registered. I'm not. I'm not opposed to getting VAT registered. It would fluctuate my price, and it also would require me to, register for VAT and do my and do my calculations for VAT, my VAT returns, whatever you want to fucking call them. Which, as an accounting student, supposed to be proficient in by the end of my degree. Fuck that, bro. Anyways, so, but the thing is, I'm a little worried that they won't go through with me since I'm not already VAT registered, because under Section 23 of the VAT Act, I think of 2005, I think it is, or 2000, no, it's 2008. Under that you have voluntary and mandatory requirements for setting up VAT. And not only do I haven't met the mandatory requirements, because it's like you need to make like, I don't know, 2.3 or like 1 million rand a year. I don't know, they might have changed it, I'm not sure. And then the problem is that if you want to do voluntary sign up, you also need to meet 50,000 rand worth of, like, I think inventory sold, or goods moved, I don't know, something like that. There's a term which I should know as an accounting student, and I don't. I don't know. What a student. A-class student right here. Anyways, so I'm slightly worried about that. I don't know, we'll see. I don't know why the camera looks like such shit right now, but anyways. But yeah, that's currently where we're at. Those are the two big things that have happened. Otherwise, we're just studying for exams. We have our first one on Friday. It's business law. Just need 30% to pass. Obviously, we would like to do a lot better, but we'll see. But yeah, two big things right now. The US doing pretty well. Business doing pretty well. I need a yes. I'm not going to get giddy about either of these things just yet, because, like, none of them are certain. But otherwise, we're doing pretty fucking fabulous. So that's where we're at. And for now, I'll check you next week. I might even do an update during the week, depending on how things go.